All right, team, we are here to talk about the best ABV to age your spirits at. How's it going, chasers? I hope you're having a kick-ass week. I'm Jesse, and this is Still at the Channel, all about chasing the craft of home distillation and making it a legitimate hobby. The next door neighbor's dog is convinced that I'm here to steal and murder. Sorry about that, guys. Nothing I can do about it. The very best ABV you could age your spirits at. It doesn't exist. And the reason I say that is there's no one size fits all. Your best ABV might be different to my best ABV, might be different to what I'm going to use next time, which might be best for that product. It's just a spectrum, a lever that you can push or pull to change the flavor for the type of product you're trying to make at that point in time. I am definitely going to be giving you some tips on where to aim your ABV depending on what you want in this video. Don't worry about that. Almost always, if you see someone saying that something is an absolute thing that you need to do, if it applies to flavor. If it is a safety thing, then yeah, sure, whatever. But if it's, oh, you have to do this because this gives you the best flavor, no. I don't know if I've run into a single thing like that. And if you think there is one, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I would love to hear what you think, that one thing that you have to do a certain way because of a flavor advantage. Chuck it in the description down below. We'll see. We can have a talk about it. But the reason I say that is that some people like an insanely smooth whiskey. That's the best whiskey they can find. I don't. That's not for me. And that's totally cool. We can be friends still. I'll still have a drink with you. I'll still enjoy the whiskeys that you like. That's fine. But I might like something else different. Someone else might like things insanely astringent. That's like happy for them. They love that. I'm not that into really astringent whiskies. Once again, I can still be friends with that person. I can still have a drink with them. I can still respect the things that they make and know that they're making a great whiskey, even though it's not my personal preference. So if someone's telling you that you have to age your spirits at a certain ABV because that is the best flavor you can get, I just don't buy it, man. If you tell someone that you want a certain outcome and they give you advice on how to get there, that's a totally different thing for sure. But yeah, there we have it, guys. We talk about this a lot lately, but I keep seeing it. On forums and especially on Facebook. Facebook's horrible for this stuff, but you get the idea. All right, so enough of that. Out of the way. I hope you understand now that there is no best ABV. There is a spectrum of ABVs that you can use, and depending on what you want, that's going to affect what ABV you pick. All right, so here's the thing, guys. Alcohol and water are both solvents, and they are both solvents that will pull different flavor compounds out of the wood that you're using. So water is going to pull different flavor compounds out than alcohol, which I think is a pretty, that's not something that is that far out of, I guess, common sense, what you would just assume to happen if you knew nothing about these topics. What might be a little bit more grey is that as the ABV goes up, it sort of moves between those two things. And I don't think it's necessarily a linear relationship between the two, but there are different points on that spectrum from 0% ABV to 95% ABV. They're going to interact in different ways. Now, in saying that, for the most part, I think for most people, in most situations, the butter zone, the Goldilocks zone in ABV is between about 50% ABV and around about 60% ABV. That's kind of the zone where I think most people's preferences are going to fall into. At the lower end of that zone, at the 50% ABV, you are pulling more of the sweeter barrel candy, vanilla-y sort of flavors out of the barrel and into your spirit. And at the higher end, you're pulling more of the astringency, the spiciness, the pepperiness out of the barrel. Funnily enough, the tipping point is right around 55%. So if you know that you love sweeter whiskies that don't have any sort of spiciness or pepperiness, you might be aiming for the 50% side of things. If you like whiskies that are a little bit more balanced and sort of teeter on that seesaw between the two, you're going to be aiming at about 55% ABV, 54%, somewhere around there. And if you know that you're into pepper and spice and astringency, more so than the average whiskey drinker out there, then you'd be aiming towards the 60% ABV side of things. Now, this is by no means an exact thing, and it's not going to be the exact same every same time. The type of wood you're using is going to change things. Like literally the tree that it came out of is going to be different than a different tree that happens to be exactly the same species. The location it's grown in, all of these things. It gets to the point where if you make 2 barrels out of the exact same tree, you put the exact same spirit into those 2 different barrels and you age them side by side, like next to each other in the same warehouse, chances are they're going to taste quite different than each other. So it is not an exact science. Oh, I got excited and swallowed my own spit. That was fun. But it is a nice guideline to push you in the direction that might be best for you. But it is knowledge that you can use to adjust from last time to push the average flavor that you're getting out of any one thing that you make in a certain direction. And then you know what? You can blend those things together later on. I need to say a huge thank you to the Patreons. Thank you so much, team. The reason I get to experiment with this stuff and basically play around is all because of these people. So thank you so very much, Patreons. If you're out there on internet land and you're finding value in these videos and you'd like to contribute directly to the channel, you can go to chasethecraft.com/support to find out all the different ways you can help out. One of them being, if it's right for you, Patreon. All right, so in summary, guys, there is no best ABV to age spirits at. There are different ABVs that are more likely, not guaranteed, but more likely to give you different outcomes. And the best is going to depend on the spirit you're creating, the balance within that spirit you want to create, and your own personal preference, which is what this hobby is all about, creating your own flavor profiles that you like to drink. So if you're into the stuff that is sweeter and more approachable, aim for more like 50%, more balanced and sort of sitting in the middle, 55%. And if you like more of the barrel spice and the astringency, aim towards the 60% side of things. And if you really know that you sit on one of those far extremes, you can push it a little bit further, maybe 48%, maybe 62%. I think you get the idea, right, guys? All right, I hope this helped you out. If it did, give me a thumbs up. That would be a huge help. Just down below this video in YouTube, I would be very appreciative for that. If you like these videos and you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button down there as well. And I will catch you next time, guys. Keep on chasing the craft. See ya.